Jay Shetty is a former monk and motivational speaker who's followed by over 20 million people worldwide. He went from being bullied as a child for being overweight and nerdy to living as a monk across India and Europe and becoming one of the internet's biggest celebrities. And today we're going to learn his best advice on how you can strengthen your convictions. Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and every morning I bring you a shot of espresso to help you believe in yourself more and start your day with confidence. So good morning, I believe in you, and let's do this. Over to you, Jay Shetty.
How do you deal with it when the doubt is coming from the people that you really love and you know they care about you?
Yeah, it was hard. I didn't go to my I graduated, but never went to my graduation ceremony. So my mom doesn't have a picture of me holding my degree, and that was a big thing for her because I moved to India. I just went. So I never went to that, and that was a big thing for her. And actually, my parents, I'm very grateful. My mom and dad are actually fairly liberal and supportive of anything I've decided to do. It's my extended family that's had more opinions and been more involved in kind of stirring stuff up with my parents, if that makes sense. So the way I dealt with it was always asking myself these questions around, is someone invested in my future? Is someone going to be there for me when I'm struggling? And is someone paying my bills? Like, those are my three checking system of who matters in life, like your soul, your mind, and your paycheck. And I think the biggest thing I asked myself was just, am I going to look back if I don't do this? Am I going to look back, going back to the Alexander the Great story, am I going to look back on my deathbed and say, my mom and dad held me back? Because I may say I'm going to do it for them. I'm not going to do this decision because I respect them and love them. But am I going to hate them in the end or be bitter towards them or feel a negative feeling towards them because I feel they held me back? And if that's the truth, I never want to feel that about my parents. They're incredible. So I need to go and take the responsibility to make this shift. And I think the truth is that when we think people are holding us back, it's just us not taking responsibility for us to push forward. Like, that's all it is. Because the truth is, if you really, 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 really want something, right? Like, if someone told you right now you had to get on a plane and there was $1 million in New York, no one would say, oh, my parents can't afford a plane. Like, no one would say that. You would do it. If you really wanted it, you'd get on a plane right now and you'd go pick that $1 million up. So it's our own insecurity that we reflect onto the people around us. And I think it's really important. I get it. There are people who are toxic around us. I get it. I had that too. There were people who were just like, literally people said to me, like, you realize you're going to fail at being a monk. You realize when you come back, no one's going to hire you. You realize when you come back, no one's going to want to be with you. You realize, there were so many things. Like, people like, you're going to be socially dead. Like, no one's going to care where you are. There was so much of that, but it didn't get amplified because I was strong in my conviction. So the way I dealt with it was just keep strengthening your conviction rather than trying to weaken the argument. Because the opinions of others will get weakened when you strengthen your own, right? That's how it works. You don't weaken someone else's to strengthen your own.
Right.
At some point, you have to realize that this is your life. It's not your parents' version of your life. It's not your husband or wife's version of your life. It's not your family's version of your life. It's your version. And when you can move from blaming others for where you're at to taking responsibility for where you're going, your whole life changes. So I was on an Instagram live recently with a young entrepreneur who said he was tired of university. He didn't want to go to university anymore. His parents are making him do it. He's living at home. He hates school, wants to drop out and do his own thing, but he's upset because his parents won't support him. And this is a pivotal moment in a lot of people's lives. You want to do something. You've got this vision for your life and what you want to do. You know you don't like the path you're on right now. You want to switch and go do something else, but the people around you don't support you. The people around you say you can't do it. They tell you you're not good enough. They tell you, if you're under our house, you have to follow our rules. And at some point, whether you are, graduating into becoming an adult, or even once you are an adult and trying to get to the next step and it's still your family, you could be, I'm 40 years old. There's still lots of 40-year-olds who are still not chasing their dreams because of their parents and their spouse and their family telling them that they can't do it. You have to take responsibility for where you're at. And so I told this student in university, hey, if you want to drop out, awesome, if that's where you want to go, but you can't expect your parents to still pay for you. This is what being an adult is. This is what taking responsibility is. You want everything. You want to go off and drop out of school, do your own business, still stay at home, still have your parents finance everything for you, take no accountability, and go off and have fun building your business. That's not how it works. A lot of people will tell you, just do it, just go for it. You can do anything you want, awesome. But there's also the downside of it where you have to actually go through the hardships of now taking responsibility. So if you want to drop out of school, and you want to go start your own business, awesome, I'm cheering for you. But you have to be willing to move out of the house. You have to be willing to now support yourself if that's what it comes to. Now, maybe you have really supportive parents and they're willing to help you do that. Maybe your husband or wife is supporting you and is super understanding for what you're doing. Maybe they're not. This is what holds a lot of people back, is you're not willing to actually take the responsibility to live the life that you want to live. You only want all the pluses and all the great things that come with it without the downside. And so if that's you, if you're struggling with that right now, you are that university kid, great, you have to figure out a way to live. Your parents might kick you out of the house. You might have to just leave because it's too toxic and negative for you, because they keep reminding you every day, go back to school. If you're in our house, you're under our rules. True, move out. Are you willing to do that? Now how are you going to support yourself? You're going to get a job? Is your business going to grow fast enough for you to support yourself in your life, right? That's what taking responsibility is. And so you'll get a lot of people in your life who will tell you that you can't do things. And I fight against that. I believe you can do anything. I believe you've got Michael Jordan level talent at something, and you have to find it and you have to chase it down. But this is on you. You're reaching out and asking for help and trying to get other people involved to support you on your dream and what you want to build. But if it doesn't happen, if they don't come through for you, it's still on you. You can't blame your friends or your family for your situation. A lot of people are still stuck in blaming people for where they're at instead of taking responsibility for where you're going. Your life can look dramatically different than where you are right now. Dramatically different. You don't have to end up where you are right now. You don't have to end up like your parents. You don't have to end up like the other people in your family. You don't have to end up like that. But you're not going to get to where you want to go by blaming the people who've helped you get to where you are right now. It's taking responsibility and building a better life for yourself, period. So how do you do that? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that will help. But before that, a special message from Jay Shetty.
Hey everyone, I have been reading a bit from my friend's book, Evan Carmichael, Built to Serve, and I wanted to share this with you. So, according to a study by Carnegie Mellon University, people with supportive spouses are more likely to give themselves the chance to succeed. They studied 163 married couples and found that people with supportive spouses were more likely to take on potentially rewarding challenges. Those who accepted challenges experienced more personal growth, happiness, and psychological well-being. Now, I can truly say that I've experienced that in my life. When I first met my wife, I was just starting out. I had never released a video. I hadn't created any content, and she was such an important part of feeling supported on that journey. So whether you're in a relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're married, or even if you're single, being supported by friends and a strong community is important. Built to Serve by Evan Carmichael. Great book on how you can find your purpose and also on reminding us that we can all make a difference in the world. Thanks, Evan.
Okay, how do you do it? How do you strengthen your convictions? How do you go through the process of actually building the thing you want to build and not worrying so much about other people's opinions? 3 steps, let's go. Step number 1 is get clear on what you want. What do you want? Get really clear on what you want. And it may not be the whole vision. You may not know ultimately where you want to go. It may just be what the next step is. It may just be that you want to take that course, you want to make that video, or you want to reach out to that person, you want to go to that event. Just get really clear on what the next step is that you want, because you can be really frustrated about something. A lot of people are really good at figuring out what they don't want. I don't want to be around this person. I don't want to be in this class. I don't want to be doing this. Awesome. What do you want to do? That's how you move from complaining to actually building a better life. Instead of just complaining about all the stuff that you hate, you get super clear on what you want out of life. Even if it's just understanding that you don't know the whole staircase, but you get clear on what that next step is. Step number 2 is understand who's holding you back besides yourself, because you're definitely holding yourself back. I'm still holding myself back. The biggest enemy is always inside, right? It's an inside game. But besides you, whose opinions are holding you back? Who are the people around you? Husband, wife, parents, friends, kids, family members, community, society. Who do you think is holding you back? Again, get super clear on the people. What are their names and what specifically are they thinking, are they telling you that is holding you back from taking action? And then number 3 is how can you move forward with empathy? At the end of the day, this is your life. You have to move forward. You've got your next clear step number one, right? You have to move forward on it. If you don't move forward on it, you're gonna live in regret your whole life and blame that person or those people for not supporting you, for not building you up. This is on you. So you have to do it. Now, your intention is not to cause somebody else harm. Your intention is not to make somebody else feel bad. Your intention is not to ignore people and make them hate you. That's not your intent. Some people may not understand what you're trying to do. So how can you move forward with empathy? How can you move forward understanding that that's how some of the people around you think? You're not trying to show them, you're not trying to prove them wrong, right? Living in that negative place won't help you build something great either. How can you move forward with empathy, not let their opinions hold you back, and still make sure you're taking that actual first next step? Now, I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what is your next step? Let me know, put it down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in a video, you're still here watching, I wanna celebrate you. Believe Nation, we don't just watch videos, we do something about it. If that's you, if you commit to watching this video and then taking immediate action, give me a hashtag Believe down in the comments and also tell me where you're from. I wanna celebrate you.
Here's the harsh reality. You're just not good enough yet. As Brian Tracy said, your true success in life begins only when you make the commitment to become excellent at what you do. This is the gap that I see in most people's lives. They've not yet made the commitment to become extraordinary. And the reason that they haven't made that commitment yet is they don't believe that they can. They're afraid of what it might take to get there. They just don't want it enough. That's the reality. Most people don't want it enough to face all of that. They don't want to face their inadequacies. They don't want to accept that they're going to have to go through that process, that gut-wrenching, back-breaking process of becoming great. And every day lulls them into this sense that there's always time to do it tomorrow. But the reality is there is only now. There is only today. And if you really want to do something with your life that leaves your own jaw on the floor, that leaves you in awe of what you've done, you're going to have to admit you're not yet good enough. That you've got to put in that work. That you've got to develop a set of skills that simply can't be denied. But if you do that, on the other side of getting that good at falling in love with something and working so hard that you can feel yourself changing as a human being, on the other side of that is something unimaginably beautiful. And as Les Brown said, if you set goals and go after them with all the determination you can muster, your gifts will take you places that will amaze you. That's what I want in my life, and I hope that's what you want in yours, is to be amazed at how extraordinary this life really is, this opportunity to make of yourself anything you want to be. Really think about that for a second. You can become anything you want to become. You can become an astronaut, a world-class athlete, a musician, the best parent that this world has ever seen. Anything you want is yours for the taking. But it takes effort. It takes a willingness to stare nakedly at your inadequacies. It takes a willingness to really gut check yourself about where you are today. And it doesn't mean that you can't go and be something better tomorrow. And falling in love with that process, that knowing that being a human and really getting the most out of your potential is that. To know that tomorrow I can be better than I am today, and that doesn't make you a bad person today. It's okay to know that you can be better tomorrow and still love yourself today. But it's also okay to love yourself today and demand that you get better tomorrow. And once you can do that, there is literally nowhere you can't go.
If you want another amazing video highlighting excellence in the Indian community, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.